Hello! Today, it's not only the first shots you're going to see of my new bedroom that we've been decorating, where I've been filming, but also the first video on this channel where we go out into the world to film. Yeah, because today we're going to be visiting Tamworth Pride. But of course, I'm not the only one going. Because we also have also coming with me to Pride are the ducking historians. Well, let's go. Here now, just waiting to be given the clear to all come in. We're here. Oh, Pride 2022, Tamworth Pride. Because of course, while there's a lot of fun and happiness at Pride, it's also important to remember, well, part of community is being able to reach out when you're hurting, and so people like Project Pathways and Citizens Advice are here to help people and help people find that they're not alone. Okay, so what brings you here today?
We are the Staffordshire Wellbeing Service, so we are here to let everybody know that we are here to talk if you need support with any anxiety, worried, stressed, low mood. Give us a call, we're available.
Thank you. And so how do you feel about being at Pride?
Oh, I've loved Pride. I always love Pride. And it's a great day as well, so it's going to be a good day.
Oh, nice. Now, what does Pride mean to you?
Pride means to me the freedom to be yourself and do just be you, be free.
Thanks. So, do you feel more part of the community when we're celebrating? Do you feel Pride helps us connect better as a community?
Pride connects everybody in the community, and it includes everybody, including someone like myself, so yeah.
Have you ever got any questions?
Any questions?
Any questions? Well, not any questions for now, guys. So I just like to say thank you for being part of this, and thank you for joining us with Tamworth Pride. And just want to thank you especially as it feels good for me to see you guys here as well, because one of the things my channel's been promoting is this idea of having NHS Day, celebrating NHS Day, the 5th of July. Every 5th of July we put up a video.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh good. Oh okay, that's fine that.
Oh nice.
If you're okay with that, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And hello, Bobby. Because of course, as we can see, Staffordshire Police are here, because one of the great things about Pride is being able to bring all of the community together to celebrate all the different ways we can be part of the community. Come a long way, but lest we forget from whence we came. It's always important to remember. While we have a lot to celebrate, not everyone's so lucky. So, if you wouldn't mind telling me who you are and what exactly you do here.
No problem. So I'm Stuart Richards. I work for GMB Trade Union. I'm part of our LGBT plus network, GMB Proud. So what the union does is we support workers in every sector of the economy to help them make work better for them, and our LGBT plus network is part of that, specifically working around issues that our community face and practical ways we can make work better for LGBT plus workers.
Oh, nice. So, if you don't mind me asking, what kind... So, because some people might get the impression that a lot of LGBT stuff is like one of those middle class things and it's not really relevant to working people. Do you feel that... How do you feel that it is like a working person's concern?
That's a really, really good question, and just from personal experience. So I come from a very traditional working class background. I didn't go to university. I went straight into various different really low paid jobs, ended up working as a teaching assistant. And the issues I was facing as a member of the LGBT plus community are exactly the same as all of those other workers. I'm not middle class. This was an issue about facing everyday homophobia, everyday bigotry, not just from colleagues, but from service users, but also from employers. And these aren't issues that go away just because you're working class. In fact, I think sometimes they're amplified because we don't necessarily have the same kind of social status that gives us automatic advantages, which is why I think it's so important that working class LGBT plus workers actually stand up for themselves, join a trade union, and try and make things practically better.
Oh, thanks. And speaking of demographics and intersections, how do you feel that a lot of things such as LGBT workers intersect with things like racial minorities, women's rights, etc.?
Again, I think part of the issue around equality, especially now, we're seeing a huge difference in what's happening with various aspects within our own community. So people of colour within the LGBT plus community, people who are trans within the LGBT plus community are facing significantly difficult challenges. To me, who's a cis white male, you know, I have privilege that they aren't getting, they are facing daily abuse. So the only way we're going to start to increase and build equality is if we actually work together. If we're divided effectively, those issues that are faced by certain sections of our community are not going to get better. So it's that bit, unless we work together as a whole, we're not going to take all of us with us. So it's really important that intersectionality is built into part of that.
So, oh, sorry. If you don't mind me asking, what does Pride mean to you?
Pride to me, again, kind of like the t-shirt said, Pride for me is a protest. I love events like this, which are here as part of a celebration, and always up for celebrating and being proud in who you are. But again, the real reason that I'm here and GMB Union here is because there is still so much work to be done. We are still facing issues, we are still facing discrimination every day, not just within the workplace but from government itself. So we're here principally because we're saying actually this is part of the work we've got to do. Great that we've done so much already, but we've still got bits to do. Pride is a protest.
And if you don't mind me asking, how do you feel LGBTQIA plus workers can feel more part of the wider community?
So again, from a perspective of a trade union, what we do is, again, we have our own LGBT plus network within the union. The idea that we do that specifically to take one group is because we want to ensure that the interests of that group are reflected in the work of the whole union. It's again going back to that intersectionality issue, isn't it? If we are going to improve the lot of working people, then that means working people as a whole. So again, by engaging with a trade union that's set up to represent the interests of all working people, hopefully that takes us one step forward.
And speaking of working people, what do you exactly, if you don't mind me asking, define working people? Like what is like in your idea of who a working person is?
So my idea of a working person is very, very simple. Somebody who has to effectively provide services for someone else for an amount of money. That's my simple definition of a working person. So especially now we're seeing widely different kind of contracts, such as kind of mock self-employed in the gig economy. They are working people. It's clearly they have to provide a service for someone else and receive payment. Simple definition.
Oh, nice. Funnily enough, Edward might well fall into that definition because as a self-employed YouTuber in the gig.
Absolutely, I think you're absolutely right.
Thanks. Oh, and if you don't mind me asking, how do you see us sort of like moving forward into the future?
I think, again, coming from a trade union background, our idea is we fight the battle that forces itself right in front of us, and at the moment in the short term our battles are heavily focused on supporting trans and non-binary workers purely because they are experiencing huge amounts of discrimination, outright discrimination from the government, let alone anywhere else. So that's our big fight at the moment. We've still got a long way to go again in terms of the whole community, in terms of building our rights and going forward, but I think that's our most immediate battle.
Thank you very much. And so, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves and what you do.
Yeah, we'll just give first names.
Yeah, that's perfect. First names will be...
About second names.
I'm Joyce. I am the project Equality and Diversity Officer for SEPRA.
And
My name is John. I work as a volunteer on the helpline called Emotional Support for SEPRA.
oh, nice. So, just our first question. What does Pride mean to you?
Okay, I think Pride is about inclusion and diversity and celebrating that we are all different and that we deserve to be treated equally, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, whatever it might be. It's about equality for me.
John?
It's about accepting and supporting people with different persuasions, especially those who are transforming. I think they need a lot of support, especially the young children. They seem to have a lot of, say hate, but there is a lot of transphobia going about. We need to overcome that. The transphobia thing is a serious issue. The hate crimes, it goes on. Yeah. It's quite worrying really. They shouldn't have to suffer that.
And so, don't mind me asking, so what brings you here today?
Send a very clear message that sexual violence doesn't discriminate. Anybody can be affected. And I think we need to have more conversations to be inclusive to different communities, so LGBTQ+ and various other identities, who I think need to be part of the conversation, and we want to be here to kind of just show awareness that this is what we do and give advice to people. So that's kind of what we hope to do.
Do you want to add anything, John?
Yes, we want to sort of raise the awareness, although SARAC is well known amongst the medical community, doctors, police and social services and schools. We need to sort of get ourselves known into the wider community. I think a lot of people still don't realise that there's support is out there for people who need it.
Now, speaking of the wider community, we're just wondering how you feel you can be there, what your plans are for bringing the wider community into the conversation about sexual violence.
I think ultimately it's about kind of educating, but also kind of, it could, so for example, we have lots of in our young person's team and even our adults team, we sort of go into schools, it could be colleges, it could be universities, and we have the conversations around consent, and we try and illustrate the importance around the trauma-informed support to basically ensure that people who have been affected by sexual violence get the support that they need. So really it's about reaching out and just letting people know that it's, any form of sexual violence is not okay. We believe people when they say they've been affected, they have been. And it's by being out in the public, it is by whether it's social media, whether it be posters in local communities and beyond. It's getting the word out there. That makes sense.
John?
Yeah, very much like what Josh says. Going out into the schools, educating, especially the lads. Lads' behaviour towards girls does need to be reinforced, that they should be more respectful, and more respectful of people who have different views on sexuality. You know, that everyone has a choice and they should be believed and listened to. So people should be supported. We firmly believe in that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Next one.
Speaking of differences in sexuality and such, I mean, this is probably a slightly awkward question because, well, there is a history of stigma against the LGBTQIA plus community for issues of sexual violence and stuff like that. You know, people just assume that gay relationships have this sort of instability about them. Do you feel that greater education might help? How do you feel your work will help break some of these down?
I think we just need to have a conversation with people. We need to be able to, are there any barriers that could present different communities in coming forward and talking about, I suppose, what can be considered a very taboo subject, sexual violence? What are those difficulties? And actually having a conversation and actually listening to people rather than making these blanket assumptions that put all people in this box, these categories. I think that's half the battle.
Yeah, as Josh says, it's also about trying to educate people to be more tolerant, and also when they're speaking to people about transgender issues or homophobia or the LGBTQ situation, people's words should pass three gates when they're speaking. The first thing they should think about whenever they say, is it truthful? And the second thing, is it necessary? And the last most important one, are the words you speak kind? Truthful, necessary and kind. So if we can get that message over, people should be more kind to each other. Because everyone should be kind to all people, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh yes. And you... yeah. And I was just thinking, because I mean, obviously there are this obviously is a very difficult subject for people, and there's sometimes issues that certain groups or demographics on a sort of economic scale, sometimes people don't talk about, be it, say, like, you know, I mean, the traditional thing often of women seeing their sort of like, you would suffer through these sort of relationship issues and stuff like that in more working class environments. That's been a sort of thing and often used to stigmatise working people. But do you feel that these kind of conversations can help people with things regardless of their background?
I think what I would say when it comes to any form of violence, I think it's important that anybody can be affected. It doesn't discriminate. So I think equally we need to be kind of inclusive to all people so that we can have these conversations about how damaging it is, how significant it can have in someone's life, and to kind of address the trauma equally, regardless of your background, LGBTQ+, whether it be ethnically diverse communities, what have you. It is something that, you know, we need. It's across the whole scale. Everybody needs to be included in the conversation, because this isn't just a sort of one size fits all.
Yes, there is no class distinction demographic that exists, because it can affect anyone. So everyone has the right to be heard and listened to and have a voice. And SARAC is only one of many organisations that listens and talks to people on a wide range of events that have happened in a person's life. But the main thing we have to stress ultimately is the strict confidentiality about what is said to us. It doesn't go anywhere. We never discuss clients outside of the centre. So the confidentiality, safeguarding is very important. It applies to everybody.
I'll just do one last thing.
Yeah.
We're just wondering, because obviously there's issues of neurodivergence that often can be victims and silent victims, again, in issues. How does SARAC help people who are, say, who have maybe physical or learning, I don't want to say disabilities because that can feel a bit, but you know what I mean, sort of, it's a, you know, neurodiversity, for example. How does SARAC services, what kind of things does SARAC do for people who are like victims who are, say, neurodiverse or in sort of situations where they maybe can't always get out, or some other complication gets in the way of talking that might not be there for most people?
I think with that, again, it's really important to assess people's needs and kind of ask the questions about what can we do to make sure people with perhaps additional needs, whether it be mental health, it could be disability, it could be different types, different sort of, I don't want to use the word categories of people, is the wrong phrase, but different communities. I think it's about asking the questions, how can we best support people that meets their needs, again, without making assumptions or basically tailor support to their needs. Again, to say our helpline is overflowing, and we can try and assess that when we're taking referrals as well, but also throughout the support that we give at SARAC. Is what it's about.
Thank you. And
Yes, so like Chris says, we have the ability, because we're such a diverse group of volunteers and a huge range of skills, that we can adapt to people's needs, and we pride ourselves that we can talk to anyone who wants to engage with us, and we do our best to do the best we can, and at the end of the day we treat them like human beings. Everyone has a right to be treated with respect and dignity, and that's all we can do. We can do our best. That's what we do, isn't it, Josh? Do the best we can, yeah. With dignity and respect and safeguarding, confidentiality.
Let people feel heard, listened to,
Yeah, that's
not
it.
met with compassion, not
Yeah, and empathy
judgmental,
as well, yeah.
empathy, but ultimately our goal is to sort of ensure that we try and create an environment where people can sort of recover and heal from their trauma.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
thanks.
How's that?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, and hope you have a very nice day, and
Yeah, we'll try and look up your Headspace YouTube channel.
thanks.
Union Jack, yes.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be...
thank you. And of course, our fire service has also come to join us at Pride today. So, if you don't mind me asking, if you wouldn't mind saying who you are and so if you wouldn't mind telling the people on YouTube who you are and what you are doing here and what you're doing as part of this today.
Oh, okay, so so I'm Lee Bates. I'm one of the event organisers for today's Tamworth Pride, and it's a wonderful sunny day here at Wiggy Park.
Oh, nice. So, if you don't mind me asking, what does Pride mean to you?
Okay, so Tamworth Pride had its first event last year, so it has absolutely fantastic response from the local community, and it means to me to be able for Tamworth people to be who they are and be proud of who they are.
I know. Because we noticed that there's a lot of participation with the wider community. Is this sort of like how you feel that Pride, you want it to be?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. It's for everybody. It's an event for everybody, no matter who you are, whether you're from the LGBTQ community or whether you're not. It's just a great family atmosphere and everybody can take part.
Ah, nice. How do you envision things going forward?
Yeah, just to get bigger and better.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yes. So, how do you feel people can come to? How do you feel like, because of there's lots of different identities. Most people are more than one thing. So, like, there are people who are minorities who are also LGBT, women who are LGBT, etc.
Well, I think this event's showing that people can be comfortable who they are and come down and everybody mixes together, and it's yeah. And I think kind of moving forward, not just about one event, I want to make sure that in Tamworth there's support groups and things for people to take part.
Speaking of Tamworth, because Tamworth probably, it's fair to say, has a perhaps what one might call a more working class demographic, and some people get the impression that LGBTQIA plus stuff is really just a middle class thing. Do you feel that that's the case?
No, not at all. No, it doesn't matter. You know, it's not something. You know, being LGBTQ is something that you're born with. So you know, nobody should be ashamed of that. And I think it doesn't matter what background you're from. Everybody should be proud of who they are and feel comfortable with who they are.
So you say about it being more than an event. Is this? Is there plans to like have a sort of year-round Pride?
Yeah, so what we're hoping to do is have some listen to the community, listen to people, what they want in Tamworth, and then trying to develop some activities or making sure that there's groups available for people to go in between Pride. So it's the main Pride event and the build-up to it, and then hopefully some more groups to come from it.
And one more. Yes, sir. Are there any policies or ideas that you think could be brought in to make things better for people in Tamworth with regards to LGBTQIA plus issues?
What could be done better? Well, I think it's just about listening and listening to people and having respect for people and it doesn't matter who you are, but you've got the same opportunities as everybody else. So.
Oh, and sorry, we've just got one more question. You, if you don't mind me saying, you're a gay man, if I remember rightly?
The last time I checked, yes.
So, as a gay man, how do you feel? Do you feel like organising Pride is a sort of positive step forwards, or?
Yeah. Well, I'm an old gay now, so I sort of grew up in the 90s, late 80s, and to see the changes in attitudes and the changes in people accepting people for who they are is phenomenal. So it's great to bring Pride or bring Tamworth into the 21st century.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for the interview. And
pleasure, anytime, Ed.
Oh, thanks. And so that was the day. 16th of July 2022 at Wigington Park was Pride in the Park. And it was a great day, and it's part of the reason. And one thing I was thinking was, it took place in July, as you might have noticed, and Pride Month we're always told is June. But it may not be the month, but the pride still remains. Because really, like Lee was saying, it's an all year thing. It's about people all year round being part, not just being able to love who they are and being part of an LGBTQIA plus community, but also being part of a community and the community. Feeling normal, feeling lovable, feeling great. Because hey, sometimes people were fearful of differences. And, well, that happens. It's sad, but it's true. But here today we had a good time and helped break down some of these barriers. And, well, tell you the truth, for a long time I'd been, and perhaps still am, having a lot of feelings about internalised homophobia. And yeah, I used to be a lot more homophobic than I am now. One thing that my priest and I have been working on is this sort of acceptance and love. Point is, it's about being who you are and being able to say, yes, I'm here and I'm a part of this community just like everyone else. Might be a little bit different, may not quite fit into the standard mould, but you know what? You know, I could say some pretty hostile things about the standard mould, but I don't think YouTube would like it very much. Point is, just being able to enjoy being who you are, being able to celebrate being who you are, and being able to show people who aren't like yourself that essentially there's nothing to fear, you know. I mean, they talk about homophobia, and which is sort of like from the fear of, well, homosexuality and all that. But essentially, but it is, and a phobia, of course, is an irrational fear of something. So you wouldn't have a phobia of axe-wielding psychopaths, for example, because they pose an actual danger. But, as we're showing here at this Pride, that, well, the phobia in homophobia is just that, the phobia. There's nothing to, you know, nothing to be scared of. Just people wanting to live their lives, enjoy their lives, and love and live and be human beings just as much as everyone else is. And the same thing with biphobia, aphobia, transphobia. You know, we're all a bit different, and we're all part of the same community of this, you know, all around everybody, you know. And so, with all this love and support, and just being able to see it for myself and be there and be a part of it. You know, I wasn't constantly filming while I was there. For a start, that would be a really long movie, and but it's nice just to be able to see all the different people and all the different faces that help bring life to the various communities that make up our community. And so, I just want to say, whoever you are, whether you're gay, straight, bi, ace, trans, demi, or all the colours of the rainbow or none. And of course, for everyone for whom it's a lot more difficult than it was on that day in Wiggy Park. It was lovely having you here.